So, we have another one of these no bag, just side discharge mowers here, except this time it's a newer Briggs and Stratton. The other one's definitely a whole lot older. And story behind this one is sold. I forget which one, but the reason why this person can't use it is they said that no matter what they did, they couldn't get the pull cord to move. It just got stuck. So I figured this would be a good time to try to diagnose a few things. I have not done anything with it yet, so this will be a new one for both you and I. So there's a couple things I have an idea on, so let's start with the easiest. First, granted, not everyone's going to have a lift table, but just in case, I have these little blocks. It goes on everything I pull on there, or put on here, so just make sure it doesn't roll off. So first things first is, okay, disconnect the plug. It's not easy. Come on. There we go. So now, see the blade. Blade moves. So I don't really think it's the motor, or maybe there's just a whole bunch of crap in there and I just got through it. Let's give it a pull again. Well, that was easy. Okay, so even though it runs now, I wanted to show this. The oil, there is oil, but it's on the low end. So I wanted to, if it didn't go through whatever it was being held up on, my next step would have been to take the plug out. And that's actually, I mean, it's not new, but not horrible. And then what ends up happening sometimes is with these gravity fed tanks, the fuel is always higher than the carburetor. Maybe the float sank. It's probably not on these because it's so new, but on older ones it could. Or the needle somehow got stuck or whatever. Gas constantly flowing. It only has two places to go: air filter and motor. A good tell on that is what's the condition of the air filter, and it doesn't smell like gas. I mean, it's going to be replaced, but it doesn't smell like gas. So I don't think that's going to be this reason, but let's say it was. Next thing you do is, after that's out, just to evacuate all the fuel that's in the cylinder already, because most likely it would have just been because it's hydrolocked. Do that and give it a push or a pull. And that will just eject out whatever. Make sure to maybe put like a paper towel or something in front of it so you don't get whatever in front, oily or gassy or anything. So, there's fuel in it. What I'm going to do is put the plug back in, set you guys down, find a new filter, something somewhere is over there, and put that in, and then turn you guys back on. I'm going to see if I can't get this started, and if so, we'll just end it right there. Okay, and I kind of want to bring something up as well. Kind of just came to me when I was playing the plug-in. Oh, by the way, I put a new plug-in as well. One concern and then one idea. The concern of mine is, because there is oil, but not a lot, and the story that was told to me is that it was running and it stopped, but I was able to move it. Usually those don't go together. Usually and I didn't put anything down the cylinder too, so if it was hot and it seized because of lack of oil, you could put oil down a cylinder and probably get it freed up. It won't last much longer. It will be maybe a week, maybe a year, maybe 20 years. But the longevity of it is no longer going to be reliable. So I wouldn't even sell it. I just put a new motor on it at that point. But another thing that it could have been is sometimes these overhead valves, maybe something had loosened and caused the gap in between the rocker arm and the valve to open up to a point when it wasn't able to actually make contact with the valve stem. And in that case, you would open that up, because that would also kind of make it really hard to pull. Not necessarily right now, because that just makes it hard to pull, but not to the point where you think you're going to be breaking it like this was. So what we kind of got rid of ours, but if yours is just really hard to pull, but then once you pull it, it kind of goes around once, and then the second time it goes around, it's also really hard to pull, that could be a problem as well. That would also kind of make it not run, or if it did run, it might even snap back at you. Okay, so enough of my concern and idea. I'm put this down and see what happens when we pull on it. Okay, moment of truth. I'm going to prime it. Couple pumps. Fail it down, and let's see what it feels like. Well, there it is. I don't know. That's really weird. I don't really have a borescope, but when I moved the blade, it barely took any force, and yeah, that's really odd. I'll just have to wonder if it was just left on its side, because there was a lot of smoke that came out. It kind of came towards the bottom of you, so I don't know if you can tell, but it was just left on its side and just kind of hydrolocked itself, and just with enough oil or fuel. But it runs pretty good to me. I'm going to run it probably outside for a good half an hour, maybe mow the little section of grass on the side just to make sure it doesn't bog. But as long as it doesn't, I think this is a pretty good mower, and who knows. Well, I'm going to go ahead and change the oil, balance the blade, sharpen the blade, and give it a run. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or ideas, feel free to leave a comment, but definitely subscribe and like the video. Okay, have a good night.